We don't have a food chain, we have a food web, which is like a mesh of everything interexchanging, one species feeding on two, three, et cetera, et cetera. One disappeared, the other one goes. So Fernando has been an advocate of preserving the environment for many, many, many years. His life has been threatened. He kept going, persisted. We both have been working, have been in the trenches in Mexico. But at one point, I had to leave the place and go study. I wanted to be a biologist. I went to Mexico City. I studied biologist. And then I came to the United States, and I started to study environmental sciences, my master's at Drexel, Philadelphia. But I never left, my brother, Fernando. I always came back, and we always kept doing things. And, but he always stayed there, focused on what he was doing. And he's been always my mentor. He's always been my friend. And I've always been very, very appreciative of not only his work, but also for being my friend, for being a friend of the world, for being a friend of the kids that learn from him. And here it is. ¿Quieres decir algo, brother?
Aquí, con esto.
Aquí puedes hablar. Yo te
I don't speak English, but I do try to say something. Okay? I'm sorry, my bad English. But thank you. Thank you, because all the people that they are doing too much for I am coming here for first time in United States. It's a big country. I am too much surprised. There are snow. I know for first time the snow. It is. It's only I have snow only in the picture and the movies, no, in the reality. And my town is only there are mangoes, piñas, and bananas, coconuts. Here is too much. Thank you very much.
Now that we cool down a little, you guys are going to know how the Kemp's Ridley turtles were in 1947. There were nearly 1 million in that area, 1 million at arrival in, like it was said, like 3 months. And we're going to show you how they looked at that time. Now, this was a man, his last name was Herrera, nothing to do with me, I'm also Herrera, but he was a guy that was flying over Tecolutla, and he saw this arrival that were hundreds of turtles arriving at one time. And this is how these populations were. You can see, there was like 1 meter from each other with tons of them. They couldn't walk, they were like so many. Turtles became really nearly extinct, and especially in that area where Fernando lives, which is Tecolutla. Fernando started working on the turtles and trying to bring back the population. Why? I really don't know. He says just because it made me feel good. And believe me, when he's been focused on it, the turtles right now are from nearly extinct to a thriving species. It's going back to acceptable levels. It is not like what it was. You saw back there you couldn't walk, on that area without seeing. And I think like for the turtles right now, it's easy, because now they can find more place where they can lay their eggs. Back there, I guess they were overlapping on laying their eggs. So some of the members of the Turtle Preservation Project we went to visit Fernando, and they decided they wanted to do something for the cause. They did a film that has been all over the world right now. It's been on NPR, National Public Radio, and it's won some awards. That's called Papa Tortuga, and it has been dedicated to Fernando and to those who have been made this project possible. And I'm going to show you now the film Papa Tortuga.
Most of us spend our entire lives wondering why we were put here. There's one man who lives in a tiny town in Mexico who knows the answer to that question. And what he has done has made all the difference.
Yo soy Fernando Manzano, me dedico a la protección de las tortugas marinas en las playas aquí en Tecolutla. Me nace como iniciativa de hace 31 años, cuando vi un documental de Jacques Cousteau y vi exactamente en un video cómo lo estaban haciendo en el gobierno el gobierno filipino, y al mes casualmente de haber visto este video encuentro yo un nido y lo hago exactamente como lo veo en el video y con un muy buen resultado.
The town where Fernando lives is a 6-hour drive east of Mexico City. It's on the coast, a coastline that used to be as populated with sea turtles as it is with tourists now. But that changed long before Fernando became involved.
Sí, cuando había muchas tortugas que salían a poner, pero que nadie las tomaba en cuenta, las mataban y él es el único que ha sido el que se ha preocupado por las tortugas, por el nacimiento de las tortugas.
Nosotros, en lo particular, lo hemos vivido desde que éramos muy jóvenes. Nosotros éramos pescadores, siempre andábamos en las playas. Ahí nos encontrábamos la tortuga, en algunas ocasiones la matábamos porque no teníamos la conciencia de protección. Ahora tenemos ya esa conciencia, ¿verdad?, que nos hace ser responsables. Y pues nosotros mismos nos vemos en la necesidad de que esa especie hay que protegerla.
En que la generación pasada, mi padre compraba las tortugas vivas y las mataba para comer. Nosotros era una tradición en todo el pueblo que se comían huevos de tortuga y carne de tortuga. Cuando éramos niños, mi padre nos hacía tomar la sangre de tortuga con vino tinto, que según la creencia de los viejos era muy bueno para fortalecer los bronquios y los pulmones. Entonces yo sufría mucho de ver esa impotencia, no poder hacer nada, y me daban mucha pena las tortugas, ver cómo las sacrificaban toda la gente. ¿Sí?
Vaya, no era mucho lo que él se dedicaba a ir a cada nido porque no se daban cuenta. Los pocos que encontraba eran los que rescataba él. Ahora ya se ha dedicado mucho a eso.
In fact, Fernando says that first year he found just the one nest. This year, he hopes to protect over 300.
Muchos errores al principio por desconocimiento del manejo de los nidos, pero poco a poco voy perfeccionando las técnicas.
He hires a few people and has a few more volunteer. They use the simplest of methods. It all starts with cruising up and down the beach. Often, it is monotonous work.
A gente que es antiguos depredadores, son pescadores, y que conozco que ellos resisten mosquitos, sol, sed, son gente fuerte, bien integrada a la naturaleza.
Simplemente porque iniciamos como pescadores, que siempre, o sea que nuestro oficio es pescar, pero ahorita por ejemplo ya que nos ingresamos aquí con Fernando Manzano, pues ya anduvimos trabajando, echándole la mano, anduvimos ayudándolo, y hasta la fecha, primero anteriormente andábamos en bicicleta, ahorita ya andamos en cuatrimoto, gracias a Dios.
Some workers are on four-wheelers. Others do the work the old-fashioned way, walking.
Pues mira, aquí en lo de la tortuga, no hay veces encontramos, hay veces no encontramos, hay días buenos y hay días malos.
The turtles come ashore when the wind kicks up. When that happens, Fernando and the others take off, looking for tracks from turtles who have just come ashore, back to the beach where they were born, to lay their own eggs. The Lota turtle is the only one of the 8 species of marine turtles which nest during the day. The Lota lays its eggs during the months of April, May, and June, which are the hottest months in this part of Mexico.
Bastante tiempos emocionantes, sobre todo cuando encontramos tortugas, que es nuestra especialidad en capturar, sí, sacar los huevitos y depositarlos en el campamento, y eso es bueno para nosotros.
One family was in the right place at the right time.
Marina, de hecho, ni la conocíamos. De hecho, ahorita venimos a turistear tantito y nos sorprendimos porque todos corrimos cuando iba saliendo, pero nunca es la primera vez que vemos una tortuga.
Hace 31 años que empiezo este trabajo de la tortuga, a proteger los nidos. Empiezo primero con un nido, y el próximo año con 3, y después con 5, y poco a poco va aumentando, porque prácticamente la tortuga lora ya estaba extinta de esta zona. Únicamente yo no sabía, después lo supe después de ver varios libros, que solo quedaban 600 adultos, después de que en 1947 había más de 1 millón de población adulta.
Evaristo is Fernando's nephew and helps where he can.
Pues me gusta y pues más bien para ayudarle también. De mi punto de vista mío, más bien es por pues el día de mañana mis hijos, quiero que vean las tortugas y o sea que aún no se extingan, más bien.
It's Maria Luisa's first day at camp. Maria left her home in Mexico City to come to Tecolutla for 2 weeks.
Y nosotros como una generación reciente debemos de tener un poco de conciencia acerca de la ecología. Las tortugas están en extinción y yo creo que es importante hacer lo posible. Las actividades uno las puede realizar otro día, pero esto es un tiempo, una fecha y hay que darle un poco de tiempo o dedicación a eso. El resto del año puede ser para otra cosa.
The compound where Fernando keeps the nests is right on the beach. Each nest is tagged with the date it was found and its estimated hatch-out date. It takes about 45 days for the eggs to hatch. Each nest contains about 100 eggs, while some are dug up and brought back to their main camp. Others are protected in place.
El trabajo de nosotros es marcarlo, marcamos el nido, borramos la huella de la tortuga para ocultar el nido, para que no lo detecten los depredadores.
La gente no es porque es mala por ser mala y ataca a la naturaleza, más bien es por falta de conciencia, falta de educación, no tuvieron acceso a la educación.
El año pasado detectamos uno, pero hablé con él, le hice ver las cosas y reaccionó. O sea, me entregó los huevos y los depositamos y nacieron.
Que va a venir a liberar con la escuela.
Del estado de Puebla.
Del estado de Puebla.
Fernando's wife Irma is his most valuable volunteer. One of her many jobs is to keep track of each and every nest and chart the dates for Fernando. This chart is also used to determine when it's time to invite the local school children to help Fernando release the baby turtles. Protecting nests and hatching turtles is important.
¿Cuántos niños serán, maestras, en total?
But just as important to Fernando is educating children about protecting the Lora turtles. Thousands of children from all over Mexico come to Tecolutla to release turtles each year. Young children, older students,
Y a las 3, todos juntos, todos sin moverse.
everyone is welcome.
It was something awesome that you can have in your hand, a little piece of life. I like really much that feeling that I felt in that moment when I put the turtle at the sea, and I could see how that little piece of life fight with the waves and try to advance.
It's beautiful because it's a sensation that it's like a baby. It's like a human baby because it's a new life that they have to fight with the sea for saving their life.
The turtle is a beautiful animal, and I think that we have to protect them because we have to save the planet.
Fernando helps to finance his efforts through the sale of souvenirs.
Rescue tortugas.
He also has displays at the beach to educate tourists who would otherwise know nothing about the struggles of the Lora turtle.
I think it's a wonderful program. The guy's doing a great job and doing something, for the environment, but also for the local school children in the area. It's a really terrific thing they're doing.
Con sus dos manitas, en la siguiente forma, ¿sí? Repito.
Yo creo que cuando tomas algo en serio, te echas una responsabilidad moral encima. Es una responsabilidad moral el ver que hay poca atención de la gente y de nuestros gobiernos, hay poca atención en las cuestiones ecológicas y que no hay nadie, si no lo hago yo, no hay nadie que lo haga, ¿no? Entonces, adquieres una responsabilidad, es mi responsabilidad y la tengo que hacer.
And people in Tecolutla appreciate the effort.
Él siempre fue una persona muy conocida aquí de joven, pero con admiración para la cuestión de las tortugas.
No puede haber alguien mejor que él, como ha trabajado.
Fernando es como un ángel caído aquí del cielo perdido.
A la 1, a las 2 y a las 3.
Financially, Fernando pays a high price for what he's doing. Still, his payoff is something else entirely.
Ver esas caras sonrientes, alegres, felices, toman su tortuga en la mano, la liberan, ellos sonríen, lloran, tienen muchos sentimientos, sí. Perdón. Esa es mi recompensa, porque sé que esos niños en el futuro van a ser buenos ciudadanos del planeta Tierra, ¿sí? Y ese es mi legado, que digo yo. Bueno, es un poco de ego, pero algún día se acordarán que había un viejo loco que soltaba tortugas.
Because of Fernando's efforts, the nests in Tecolutla are much better protected from humans and other predators than nests in other parts of Mexico.
Pero hay veces hay fugas de eso, porque hay veces pues no se da abasto él a cuidar todo y sí pescan los huevitos. Él también pues está pobre, no tiene mucho dinero solvente para decir voy a pagar para que me ayuden.
Para ser honesto, sí quisiera mejorar un poco mi economía, porque hay veces que estamos un poco apretados económicamente. Pero lo principal y lo que me hace a mí feliz es las tortugas, trabajar con las tortugas y yo creo que cada quien nace para hacer algo en esta vida y a mí me da mucha satisfacción hacer lo que hago y eso es lo más importante en la vida, sentirse bien.
This year, over 30,000 baby sea turtles were released into the ocean. In 12 to 15 years, those that survive will return to these very same beaches to start the process all over again.
Dime por qué
show you some slides of the operation that is going on in Tecolutla. I was born like about 30 minutes from there. Yeah. So right now I live here in Philadelphia, so I'm just like a turtle. I just migrated over there and come back here every time. So, and it's nice that, as you can see, you know, the biodiversity in Mexico is pretty big. It's one of the whole country is it occupies the 3rd place in biological diversity in the world. And also has the number 4th place in fruit plants. So it's basically anything that you would like to see in Mexico, plants, animals, and everything is there. Veracruz State is right here, and you can see some of the diversity that exists just in the state of Veracruz. You know, you can see the owls, you can see lizards, you know, falcons, you name it. You go to Veracruz and it has it all too. And plus, it has a whole area, a whole littoral of water. The seashore, beautiful coastal lagoons. It's a beautiful place to be. Oh, tu casa, Fernando.
We live here. Maybe este es el río.
That's the river.
Esta es la costa.
There's the coastline.
Sí, y aquí ahora mi esposa me está esperando.
And so my wife is waiting for me. So anyway, you can actually see here, you know, this is the shore, this is the river, this whole estuary area. And this is a mangrove jungle. I worked there for 3 months. Been bitten by mosquitoes. This is where the government lives. He doesn't like that. So,
estas son las lanchas del turismo que van a paseos en los esteros, al río, a la lancha, a pescar. Es un lugar muy bonito, muy paradisíaco.
These are boats where the tourists go and visit the mangrove area. They go fishing. They go and visit the river. And it's something that you cannot avoid it. There's people who work for this, for the tourists to the area. So it was Fernando when he was young and beautiful. It's Fernando with one of the albino. There's a green turtle.
Fue donada al acuario de Veracruz, del puerto de Veracruz.
It was donated to the aquarium of Veracruz because it couldn't be released. It was not in good shape, you know, physically. I mean, it was okay, but it had some problems, so it couldn't be released. It could have been eaten, like, or damaged, or anyway. So here is
my boss.
La controladora.
Es bien muy importante en el trabajo porque es la que controla la cuestión administrativa y toda la relación administrativa. Es muy, muy, muy importante. Yo soy un verdadero desmadre.
So she's the one that controls all the administrative things in Tecolutla, and it also controls me.
Esta es mi casa, que es su casa.
This is your house. And
Este es un lugar que está a 9 kilómetros de la casa porque es un lugar muy estratégico para cuidar las tortugas. Es bien muy importante este lugar.
Yeah. So this is a really strategic place where the camp is moved. Part of the camp has moved. We have to use this raft to go to the next is like a little island, and then ahead of this there's the shore, and we stayed there for days. When I was there, I stayed there, and we had to actually, you know, transport all the water and everything to the other side. You can see Fernando right there. I put him to work.
Apuntando agua y cosas, víveres, la lámpara y cosas que necesitamos en el campamento.
Yeah, we have to carry all the supplies there, and this is about 3.5 miles from the main camp, the headquarters. That's south in the area. This the
Este es un
tents.
campamento satélite que importante, pero
Yeah.
ahí tenemos una cocina pequeña con carbón y leña, pero cocinamos muy rico, es muy sabrosa la comida con leña.
Yeah, this is a camp where we cook with wood. Have no choice. So we have, and this is.
Allí estoy señalando, uso pintura, lo pongo en los troncos para marcar los nidos.
que es muy importante marcar con pintura, porque solamente nosotros sabemos dónde está el nido, y esa es la pintura.
So this is a marking just to recognize and let the others know that there's a nest, and they don't have to mess with that nest that has been saved and protected, so they know when there is. And this is part of the camp too, and this is one of the vehicles.
Esta es la parte norte de la casa, de acá, 15 kilómetros al norte. Ahí está Julia, que es una voluntaria, hija de Pete. Ahí está Pete.
Pete's over there. This is his daughter. She spent some time over there in Tecolutla. And this is one of the vehicles that we just go up and down on the coast. This is me. And one of those other vehicles is ATV. Some of these vehicles also has been donated by the TTPP to Vida Milenaria, and we just keep supporting them as much as we can. This is a truck that was donated
por la gente de Pensilvania, que ha sido muy importante para nuestro trabajo. Para nuestro trabajo. Muchas gracias a la gente de Pensilvania.
So, just to let you know how important this truck was for the operation over there. They kind of just imagine that one of the ATVs breaks down like 3 miles, 4 miles away from camp. You're going to have to pull it back to camp and take it to the shop. Now it can be done with a 4-wheel drive. Go over there and pick it up and take it back to the shop, and it can get fixed. And it can be ready to work the next day or so, depending on what it is. So this truck, it is really, Fernando was just saying that it's very appreciative of what it was done for that. And me and Pete and his daughter took it to Tecolutla after like 2 exploded tires or something. Actually, that was what happened. Anyway, so this is the north part, right, Fernando?
Sí, es la parte norte que te digo. Ahí estamos con el otro Kilos, que es una importante.
This is Mr. Kilos.
Antiguos depredadores que los hemos convertido en conservadores. Son pescadores.
Yeah. This is all these guys that are right now working with Fernando. They were poachers. They used to get turtles and get eggs and sell them. Now they work for him or with him, really. They changed their ways big time.
Esta es una tortuga que acaba de poner un promedio de 100 huevos.
This is a turtle just laid.
Regresa otra vez al mar. ¿Sí?
Just lay the eggs. It's going back to sea. As you can see, this is how the area looks like. Very pristine, very nice. You only have a large congregation of people right in Tecolutla, but the rest of the area is like this. Beautiful. This.
Esa está haciendo su nido, está haciendo un nido. La arena está en el aire. Está apurándose porque ya es pronto.
She's digging out the hole and trying to lay his eggs. Is another one, the same one, right?
Esta es la mocha, la que
yeah.
Está poniendo ahí sus.
Just lay their eggs and goes back to sea. You saw that on the movie. And
esta le falta un pedazo de concha, por eso identificamos a diferentes tortugas.
Yeah, that's
it. Son diferentes ataques de tiburón o de barracuda y en diferentes partes y ya las conocemos porque vuelven año con año.
Right. So what Fernando is saying that this piece that was chopped up out of here was probably done by a shark or a barracuda or something, and they recognize these turtles because they come back year after year. And they actually nicknamed them. This is called La Mocha. You know, and there's other turtles like Olguita, La Rata, La Loca, the crazy one.
Es las iniciales de Vida Milenaria para los compañeros que sepan, que sepan que ya controlamos este nido y que ya no tienen que batallar, ya ellos saben que está controlado. Son nuestras señales.
Right. This is another kind of marking that we do is like you say like the V and the M, this Vida Milenaria. So the guys know that there is a track here that they don't have to take care of because they're really taken care of. And this is some markings.
Sí.
And this
es una malla que usamos de acero que nos da muy buen resultado. La ponemos arriba de los nidos y esto evita perros, coyotes, mapaches, tejones, cangrejos y con eso es un magnífico resultado. Es un sistema barato, eficaz.
Yeah.
Y con buenos resultados.
This mesh gets on top. Once the nest is spotted, you know, we go over there and lay this mesh on top of it so they will be protected from other predators. They're protected from coyotes, from other raccoons, from wild dogs, from crabs, birds, and everything except man. So this is what we do, and this is what Fernando is doing here. Just
Sí, aquí estamos destapando un nido de que está a punto de nacer. A los 45 días vamos nosotros a destapar para que no se vaya a pasar, porque así como no pueden entrar los depredadores, tampoco ellas pueden salir.
Right. So this is the mesh that has been retrieved right here after like 45 days before they hatch, and they keep monitoring closely because if they hatch, they won't be able to get out. So they have to like kind of closely monitor this and make sure that the day is arriving, so they can get back, not get back, but they go to sea. And here's uncovering one more, and this was the transport, right?
Embriones que ya estaban a punto de nacer y tuvimos que transportarlos porque venía el huracán con mucho peligroso y teníamos que cambiarlos de lugar hasta muy arriba porque si no llegan las olas y desaparecen los niños.
Right. So this is. You probably saw in the movie that like the eggs when they just were laid by the turtle, they can handle like a little bit rough. They're okay. There hasn't been any damage to them, that known damage or anything like that. But when they are just about to hatch, you got to be really careful. That's the embryos. So you got to carefully get them out. What they're doing right here is the hurricane was coming. A hurricane was coming, and they had to go and dig all it was like 28, con 28 nidos que se tenían que transportar. There were like about 28 nests that had to be like dug out and taken to higher ground so the hurricane tide wouldn't wash them off. So it's a very hard work.
Sí, pero hay que hacerlo muy
you have to get one by one, do it slowly and carefully, so they don't change position when they are like there. They just keep it in the same.
Lento, muy lento.
Yeah. So here's again, they're doing repositioning and moving them to higher ground. As you can see right here, this is a higher ground. You can see plants over here, like the transition of more vegetation over here, and the beach is like down there. So this is one of them. They're like repositioning one more over here, and this is Julia again watching that these guys do a good job. And this is the transition of the vegetation. So those nests were like positioned like up there where the dunes are, and if all of them at this time were lucky, the tide didn't reach this area or hiking in it, and they hatched, great. You see these guys. This is another technique that is no longer used because it was really tedious and it didn't give as good results as protecting them in sight. And so it's no longer in use.
No nos gusta esa técnica porque si llega a contaminarse un nido de estos, hace un efecto dominó, un nido contamina a otro, otro a otro y así. Entonces por eso es que nos gusta tener aislados en los lugares aislados. Si algún nido se pierde, solamente es eso.
Right. What Fernando said is that if any of these nests, this technique is no longer in use because it just didn't give us good results. Because in practice, you got to keep trying, and through practice and try and error, you can accomplish things better. That's what we do. And these are not longer in use because if one nest gets contaminated, it contaminates all the nests. So they have to be, separated. And this Fernando transporting, as you can see, the hurricane is coming back here.
Yes.
And they had to transport.
El ciclón viene atrás.
Yeah.
Estaba unas horas antes de que llegara.
It was just like 3-4 hours away from hitting Tecolutla. So this is the use of the truck again. This is one of the eggs that were transported and repositioned. They're already hatched. And this is.
Están naciendo las tortugas ahí.
They're just hatching. They're just hatched. There's another one embryo that has been on, and this is a bunch of them just getting ready to be released. And this is Fernando.
Sí, la que están haciendo
está
todavía con el vitelo dentro y hay que dejarlas un día o dos más.
Right.
Para que.
But you got to make sure and just have to keep monitoring them and seeing how they're evolving in terms of the hatching. So you keep checking them out, and when they're ready, they just put them back on and they finish you know, they're hatching. This is one injured one, right?
Verde que tuvimos
This is a green turtle.
También fue donada al acuario. Hemos donado muchas tortugas al acuario de Veracruz.
Yeah, this was donated to the aquarium. Another one that couldn't make it on the wild, so it has to be donated to the aquarium. These are the little babies.
Están esperando a los niños que vengan a liberar.
Oh, that's right. These ones were waiting for the kids to release them. I think this is a really important thing. We would like to address that.
Sí, estos lo hacemos con mucho para crear conciencia. Invitamos a muchas escuelas y a niños a participar. La mayor parte de las tortugas son liberadas independientemente, sin gente, pero algunas veces lo intentamos con escuelas y niños y turismo para crear la conciencia. A nosotros nos ha dado muy buen resultado.
So what Fernando is saying is that this is done, and it is necessary to do because we have to create conscience on the people, and the most important thing is to create conscience on kids. They're unspoiled. They're over there, and they're going to have that image in their minds forever. And not only for them, but for the kids. Not only for the kids, but for their whole tourism that not the whole tourism, that the people in general. So they can come and that release, but it is not just handing the turtles and say, okay, release it. They have to go through a talk that Fernando and Irma and the rest have planned for them. They get instructed in non-polluting the area, non-polluting the coastline, don't throw in trash, protect turtles, and so forth and so on. So then, after they talk, then they can't release a turtle. You know, that's their price. So it's kind of tricky, but that thing works, and it's working. And we know that the United States government is not allowing people from touching the turtles because they think that they're going to cause some harm. There hasn't been any documented harm to the turtles. It is possible that it exists, but it's better to teach the people to cause almost no harm than not seeing people to being conscious of what it is happening over there. So when they do that, the damage is minimum, the reward is greater. You know, it's really good.
Okay.
Right, bro?
Sí, bien.
Yeah.
Gracias a haber invitado a tanta gente y a los niños, en Tecolutla, en mi pueblo, no hay, por mucho que busquen, no hay ni huevos en venta, ni carne, ni productos de tortuga.
Yep.
Eso ha tomado mucho tiempo educar a nuestro pueblo, pero se ha logrado.
Right? But when doing this type of activity with the kids in there, you know, they create enough consciousness on all the peoples, especially the inhabitants of Tecolutla. You know, you cannot find turtles for sale, turtle meat for sale, nothing. Everybody protects the turtles in town.